As I lie here, my raspy breathing growing more shallow, supported by my aging yet rock-strong husband, my beautiful, strong-willed daughter, and my handsome and brilliant grandson, all here saying goodbye through this phenomenon called Zoom, never realizing I hear every word. I laugh silently and reflect on what almost never was. It was the summer of 1970, and I was a naive 21-year-old with her entire life ahead of her. A bright future, a pretty face, and, if I do say so myself, a killer bod. It was probably that last attribute that drew my acting professor to me, for truth to tell, my talent was at best mediocre. While I was, so I thought, totally and irrevocably in love with this man who I just knew I was going to marry and spend the rest of my life with. For him, I was just the latest, so I learned later, in a series of passing fancies. As graduation had just occurred, I was thrilled and excited to know that now my love and I could be together. I was anxious with anticipation when he asked me to meet him downtown at a beautiful French restaurant, just knowing that tonight was the night he would ask me to be his eternally. Wearing my sexiest outfit, I arrived to find him seated in front of his usual scotch, or third or fourth. When I sat down, he smiled forlornly and said I looked incredible. Something was not right. As the woman who this man could not keep his hands off of, I just knew. "What's wrong?" I asked. "First off, congrats on your graduation," he said. And then it happened. My life, my world, came crashing down. The last 2 years have been fun, but now it's time for us both to move on. Go chase your dream, and I'll think of you fondly as I live my life. My time is almost up, so I won't bore you with the details of my crying, my pleading, my making a scene, storming out. You've seen the cliches on screen, played by far better actresses than me. Suffice it to say, my life, so I thought, was over. I went home, slid out of my clothes, lay down on the bed, and slit my wrists. As the blood began leaking out, luckily biology was my weakest subject, I began to think about what a fool I had been and how the world would be better off without me. As my eyes grew heavy, I heard my roommate scream, and I slid into peaceful repose. Of course, I did not die, for I'm relating these events 50 years later. I have shared this with you, and if only one person hears my message, it will be enough. I recovered, I moved out west, I founded a theater, and my life has been abundant and joyful. And that love I couldn't live without, I found it, hidden like buried treasure in a small town in Idaho. And that treasure would never have been found if I had not been saved by my roommate. As I take my last breath, hear me well. Life is precious, and well worth living. Adversity is momentary. Trust me, I know.